I guess what we should do is begin trying to fill in some of this area in the back of the vehicle. It's almost like an area of a pickup truck where the tailgate is. And it's really hard to see what it is we want to put in there. Let's go back to another image here. Maybe something. This is the only top view we really have, and it doesn't give us a whole lot of information. But I think we can just put some pieces in to kind of fill the space and see where we are once we do that. So let's go to that back view with Control 1 and go to wireframe again, and let's take a look here. It looks like there's kind of a platform here, and it kind of looks like that this is it here. So I think I want to put that in. In addition, now that I'm looking at this, it seems like this piece here extends all the way across, that this here is all one piece. We could go ahead and add that in before we put in the platform, I guess. Let's give that a try. Let's tab into edit mode, and I'll hit the 1 key to go to vertex select, and I'll press the B key and border select these points here. So I'll come over here and turn on the edit cage for the mirror so we can see the other points on the other side. And I think what I want to do is get this curve here. It isn't over here, but I think that's okay. I think I like this here. So what I'll do is I'll just press E and X, and I'll move these in, and then I'll scale. I'll hit S and scale in, and then I'll bring these up just a little bit. So I'm kind of bringing that up now. You can see that there. Then I'll hit E and X and move this way. And what I want to do now is kind of bring this down like this, I think. It's really hard to tell, but I'm just trying to get that basic shape. So then from here, I'll hit E and X and slide it over to here like that. Right there. And then what I'll do is press E and X and slide this way like this. Now, when I do this, notice these don't clip together. So I'll just click and I'll come over here into the mirror panel and I'll turn on clipping. Now if I take this and drag, it'll just clip together and merge those points. Okay, so now what I just need to do is kind of pull these points up. To do that, I can change my pivot. Let me go to the solid view so we can see this a little better. What I'll do is I'll select this point here and I'll move that 3D cursor to it. Shift S2. Then what I'll do is change the pivot point, the actual place from which we will scale, from the median point of the selection to the 3D cursor. So now whenever we scale or rotate, it'll happen at the 3D cursor. Now I'll hit that B key and border select these, and then if I press S and Z to scale in the Z axis, those will come up like this. See how it's scaling from the 3D cursor? All right, so let me just go back to wireframe real quick and just take a look at this S and Z, and maybe I'll just pull it up to about right there. I'm just getting, once again, the basic shapes. I know this is very blocky and angled compared to what is in the reference image, but that's okay. For now, we're just trying to get in the basic shapes. All right, so I think maybe I'll grab these 2 points. Let me switch back to the median point here. Now, there is a shortcut key for this menu here. You can press the period key on the keyboard as opposed to the period key on the numpad. The period key on the keyboard, and that will bring up this pie menu, and you can choose median point or 3D cursor here. So I hit the period key and we can choose 6 or 8 are the shortcut keys. So once again, I'll hit escape to get out of that, and now I'll hit period 8, and that will pop that back to the median point of the selection. All right, so now I can bring this down, maybe something like this. There we go. All right, let's take a look at it. Okay, it's a little blocky, as I said, but let's leave it like that and just see how it's going to work as we put in these other pieces. Let's put in this main platform here at the bottom of the tailgate. So to do that, I'll move the cursor back to the grid with Shift S1, and then let's go to that top view and wireframe, and let's create a cube. Shift A, Mesh, Cube. And I'm going to scale it down and bring it back. And I think I want it something like this. I'll press S and Y and kind of scale out like this. And then bring it forward just a bit. Something like this, maybe? Let's see how this is going to fit in there. And then I think I just want to press S and X, and I'm going to scale into right about here. Right there. All right, let's tumble around to see what we've done. I'll go to the side view with the 3 key, and let's bring this up. And let's go to the back view with Control 1, and I'm going to put this right there. See where that platform is? I'm going to put that right there. Let's try that. And then I'll tab into edit mode, hit the 3 key for face select, and drag that face up. Oh, I don't know. I don't know where it's going to go. I'll put it right here for now. It's really hard to tell. So let's take a look at this now. All right, so there's that piece. And it looks like, it's difficult to say, but it looks like there's a little rim there. So what I'm going to do is select this, press the I key, and inset that just a little bit. Oh, it looks like since I've changed the scale, let's Control Z out of that and back to object mode, and I'll Control A and apply the scale. Now let's try this again. Let's hit the I key and inset. Yeah, and that border looks like it's a little more even and uniform now that we've applied the scale. Let's extrude and push that down just a bit, like that. All right. It looks like we're kind of bumping up against this. Let me push that back. There we go. All right, so we have that in place. It looks like this thing. It's too bad we only have this one picture, but I think we'll be able to make it work here. This part right here looks kind of like a toolbox. Let me go to the top view and show you what I mean. If I go to wireframe, you see how it has this handle here? And the top is kind of curved. I think this is a toolbox, although I'm not sure. But that's what I'm going to say it is, and that's what I'm going to make it as. So we can do that when we're creating our own things like this. Let's create a toolbox here. I'm going to press Shift-A and create a cube, and let's scale that down again. And I'll move this up and into place over here. Let's scale it down, kind of get it so it fits right in here. And I think I want it to be back like this. I want this face to come in. So let's select that face and drag in a bit. And then I'd like this face to go this way, out to about here. And maybe this can come down a bit because we can kind of see the tire well through there. So I think I want it to come down a bit like this. And then what let's do is make that curve there. It looks as if what I could do is maybe add some edge loops and then pull them up with the proportional editing tool. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and press Control R and add a few edge loops here. I'm going to scroll the mouse wheel. And if you look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, you can see how many cuts I'm creating here. I think I'm going to do 5 cuts here, and then I'll click and click again. So there we have those edges that we can use to pull up. I'll select this one edge, and then what I'll do is I'll change to proportional editing. So we can turn this on here. This is proportional editing. Shortcut is the O key. Now, if I just pull this up like this, you can see I only pull that one edge up. I'll press Control Z. I'll turn on proportional editing, and I'll also come in here and choose connected only. Now, if I hit G and then the Z key to move only in the Z axis, if I scroll the mouse wheel forward, I can change the area of influence that the proportional editing tool has. You can see how it moves it around a bit. Now I can drag upward and then scale or scroll the mouse wheel, and you can see how it changes the shape of that top of the object. I think if I go like this, maybe that might be a fairly nice curve to it. Yeah, let's go like that. We can, of course, come up here and go to Object and Shade Smooth, and then go down to Object, Data, turn on Auto Smooth, and that cleans that up pretty well. So that's a nice curved top for that. We can't really see what's going on the other side here, so I think what I'm going to do is just put a cube there as a filler and see how it works as we move along here. I'm just going to create a cube, move it back, and let's place it in here just to fill the space. So I'll scale it down a bit, move it down a hair like that, and I'll grab that face over here. And let's move this in as well. So I'll move it in. Oh, I still have the proportional editing tool on. I better come up here and turn that off. What I can do is just press the O key, and that'll turn that off. All right, let's move that there. I'll grab this face here and move it back to there, and this face and move it to here. There we go. Oh, it looks like I could grab that face and move it back out till it just almost connects with that. There we go. Okay, now we could maybe come down here and select these and get them kind of aligned on the bottom as well. I'll hit the C key and circle select those and then move those down in the Z till about right there, I guess. Something like that. Okay. All right. So there we have just the basic block out of those shapes. In the next video, what I'd like to do is maybe add this piece here. I'm not sure what it is, but I like the way it looks inside there. And also, I think if we go back to that top view again, I think we saw that we had a handle here. I'd like to create this handle, maybe use the path tool to create that handle just to give it a sense that it's like a toolbox or something. So we'll work on that in the next video.